Hi, my name is Margaret McEwen and I'm the owner of Superfine Canine Dog Training. I hope all of you are enjoying Camp Embark and that you're earning those badges. Today's topic is separation anxiety. I'm going to start by defining separation anxiety and some of the other things that get lumped into that category. We're going to talk about what to do if your dog truly has separation anxiety and some ways that you may be able to prevent separation anxiety from occurring or from getting worse. The first thing I want to talk about is the definition of separation anxiety. So again, these categories tend to all get lumped into separation anxiety. On the most mild case is your dog just doesn't like being away from you. They don't like being separated from the people in the household. They don't like being in their crate. They kind of throw a temper tantrum. I equate it to the canine version of fear of missing out. The second category is separation anxiety, and that is defined by the animal having anxiety that occurs because of the separation from a individual. Typically, it's like the adult female of the household or the adult male of the household, or it could be even another dog. But it is just solely separation from that individual person. Isolation distress is actually when the dog just cannot handle being alone. So they get very distressed, little more than anxious, and it's, in my opinion, kind of the most severe form. Next, I want to talk about what to look for to determine if your dog has true separation anxiety or isolation distress, or if they're really just having a hard time, a temper tantrum, or mild separation anxiety like fear of missing out. Most dogs, when you first get them and they have bonded with you, they don't like being separated from the family unit. So you might put them in their crate for a little while you're home, or even when, especially when you're going out, and they may start crying and whining and screaming and kicking back on their bedding and things like that. That is probably going to happen with 99.9% of dogs. If it's just that, and we'll talk about some other signs and symptoms, you're going to want to let them just cry it out. It can take 15, 20 minutes. It can take a while. But if that is truly all it is, they will eventually cry it out and they're just going to relax. They need to learn how to self-soothe. Part of that is they just don't have the coping skills to deal with being away from their human or, another animal in the household. If your dog is heavily salivating, biting at the crate to the point where you're afraid they're going to break their teeth, or they're trying to break out of their crate, they're urinating in their crate over, being totally stressed out. If your dog's not crated for some reason and they start destroying your home when you're not there, that is true separation anxiety. That is a moderate to severe form of separation anxiety. And if that's the case, you do want to get your vet involved sooner rather than later. So again, if your dog is having those severe reactions to you or someone else in your household leaving, or all of you leaving, please involve your vet and get a reward-based trainer to help you through this. It's a process. If your dog has what we talked about, mild separation anxiety, they just don't like it when you're not there, they get upset, they might pace a little bit, throwing a temper tantrum in their crate, there are some things that you can do. We talked about coping skills. Number one, teach your dog how to cope with you not being next to them every minute. One thing you can do to help them learn those coping skills is to give them something to do when you put them in their crate, especially if you're going to be leaving. I like to get my dogs involved with maybe licking some peanut butter out of a Kong, or you can put cheese in there, use your creativity. Get them involved with interacting with this before you leave. Again, if your dog has true separation anxiety, as I described earlier, they may actually start seeing this as a negative thing. But if your dog is just having those little temper tantrums, this could possibly help them say, okay, something good happens when you leave, so I'm okay with that. The other thing is to give them some activities that don't involve you. Chances are, especially if you've got a new dog during the times we're going through right now, that you have been the sole source of their entertainment now for weeks, months. Teach them how to do some things independent of you. It could be things that you set up, but you want them to interact with the toy. And I'm going to actually provide some videos of some food puzzles and things like that. It teaches them coping skills. It gets their brain engaged in something that isn't, where's mom, where's dad, what's going on. There are some other like homeopathic or natural remedies that are sold in pet stores, and you can even ask your vet about that. So if you feel that your dog's maybe a little bit beyond temper tantrum and fear of missing out, but not quite full-blown separation anxiety, they may recommend you try some of those things. So I want to wish you luck with this. Do some research. Please don't hesitate to reach out to your vet if you believe your dog has true separation anxiety. Again, I'm Margaret McEwen. I'm the owner of Superfine Canine Dog Training. I can be reached at superfinecanine@gmail.com, or you can visit my Facebook page, which is Superfine Canine Dog Training. The first is a commercial puzzle that is easily found in pet stores or online. And the trick is the dog needs to figure out how each part moves and works so they can eventually reach the treat or piece of food that is inside. You'd be surprised at how well the dogs do after they've done it a couple times. Clearly, this is not this dog's first time working this puzzle. Next is the Muffin Tin Puzzle. You're going to start with an empty muffin tin, and you can place pieces of the dog's food in as many of the little areas that you decide. You can mix it up. You can put something in each area, or you can do it randomly. Cover each section with a tennis ball and let your dog hunt for the food and figure out how best to reach it. Next is a fun one that anyone can do, and that is the towel puzzle. I like to use a bath sheet or a beach towel so it's nice and big. You're going to spread all or part of your dog's dinner on the towel, and then you're going to roll it up. I like to form a U shape with the seam down so that the dog has to work a little harder to find how to open that puzzle up. And here's a video of a dog working the towel puzzle. Each of these is going to help your dog learn to problem solve and also to do some activities that don't directly involve interaction with you. This should help over time with a dog that relies on you for everything.